Hello friends, and welcome to another video from my series Quick Thoughts On, in which I always talk about different stories from the rich Star Trek universe. A week and a half or almost 2 weeks ago, the third season of Star Trek Discovery started. The first episode was called The Hope Is You, or as other sources call it, That Hope Is You Part 1, and these are my honest opinions about it. I am seriously thinking about doing a new series similar to the Everything Wrong With videos, dedicated to talk about every single thing which bothers me about the new shows, but unfortunately I have more plans than free time. I will talk about some of the problems I had with this episode, but they are definitely not the only problems I have with it. I'm just trying to keep these videos below 15 minutes. And after hearing this short intro, you probably know that this video is definitely not going to be very positive. We have a weird beginning. The episode gives us the bird, literally. We start with a close-up of a bird, which also serves as an alarm clock, so we immediately know we have moved to the future. If you don't remember, in the last episode of the previous season, the Discovery jumped 9 centuries into the future, which means to the 32nd century. We get to watch a montage of a day of some weird Indian guy. Why? I don't know. The sequence is not tied to anything else. The same guy has a second scene in the end of the episode, but even that one is boring and kind of pointless, so I assume the reason for these scenes is to waste our time. Oh yes, this episode is almost an hour long, and maybe 10 minutes of it are actually entertaining. So when the real story starts, we see 2 ships flying. Some time ago I heard the word fugly, which apparently means fucking ugly, and I never knew how to use it correctly. Now I know the correct usage for it. It is the perfect word for describing all of the ships in this show. They just look awful. Not sure if that was intentional or if the show designers are incompetent, but one thing's for sure: I'm not buying Eagle Moss models of these ships. So we meet the 2 pilots. The one being hunted is a black guy called Book. The hunter is an orc from the Lord of the Rings movies. Why can an orc fly a spaceship? Not sure. Another thing which is bugging me is how they communicate. Now, I'm not talking about the 3D graphics. I'm fine with it, even if I think it's dumb, but this level of dumb is the norm for Discovery, so I'm perfectly fine with it. What I have a problem with is that Book is speaking English and the orc guy speaks in Orkese, and they understand each other. Almost like this was a Star Wars show and not a Star Trek show. Star Wars was the franchise where creatures of different species understood each other despite speaking different languages. Star Trek always cared about the ability or inability of communication. They needed an universal translator, and when it failed, they were screwed. Anyway, it's the stereotypical villain versus hero dialogue, almost like it was taken from some writer's guide, when suddenly a space anomaly opens and a weird object flies out of it and crashes into Book's quote-unquote ship. What is this weird object? Well, it's Michael Burnham, of course, in her Red Angel suit. In her blue Red Angel suit. So shouldn't it be a blue Angel suit? Anyway, she lost control, so she gets pulled by the gravity of the planet, crashes down onto the planet, and ends up below the ground, buried alive. So yes, she fell from space down to the planet and fell so hard that she fell below the ground, so logically she gets ripped apart into several pieces, correct? Or ends up with serious injuries, right? Well, of course not. This is the Michael Burnham show, so if something would kill a normal person, she gets over it. She gets out of the dirt, and then a few weird things happen. For example, she opens her mouth at the same time as some liquid starts to pour out of her helmet. I'm not sure if this is a hidden message or something like that, or if it was a sign of incompetence, because it looks like it was supposed to be a scene in which she she throws up, but they filmed it from a wrong angle and they had way too little liquid. Then her Blue Angel suit runs away from her, that's the best way how I can describe what's going on, and assembles behind her, while Michael stands looking very weird, almost like her body is a 3D CGI model with a static picture of her face as a texture. Then she pulls out a 25% different phaser, cam badge and a few other thingies when she starts asking the suit what is the current year, and the suit answers her. Now, does the suit know when they arrived? How does it know it? It's almost like the writers are not sci-fi writers or sci-fi fans and don't understand that a computer on a foreign planet with no access to positions, maps or known stars or something similar, some similar data, has absolutely no way how to tell what year it is. It's almost like hiring soap opera writers to write a sci-fi show is a really stupid idea. Then Michael appears to have a stroke. Oh wait, no, that's probably just Soniqua trying to show some genuine emotions, almost like she's an actress. Then she sets the suit to self-destruct and sends it to the anomaly. Why? You're on a strange planet and have a machine which can fly, it can travel through time, so why the hell would you try to destroy it? Do you want to be left behind? And are there no better ways how to commit suicide? Or did the writers forget their own story? Do the writers think that the sphere data from season 2 is still in the suit? Because if you remember, that was the original plan, but in the end the data ended on the Discovery. So why did she blow up the only tool which could save her? Well, but Michael doesn't stop to think about it. She has to persuade us that she's not a plank of wood, but she can actually emote. And I must admit that during a few scenes I had to turn the volume down because I didn't want my neighbors to think that I'm watching some weird porn again. Wow, and this was just the teaser. Okay, I spent too much time on that. Let's go a bit faster, or much faster actually. Michael finds a cloak chip and gets attacked by Book. He's twice as big as she, so of course she defeats him without any problems. How much you wanna bet that they will become a couple in the future? Just one thing about the dialogue, it's awful. Book always asks her a question, follows it with I don't wanna know, so why did you ask? Was it poorly directed? Should it be him taking his question back? Because that's not what he's doing. He's saying it all with the same voice, same tone, same importance. We hear a lot of other brilliant lines. For example, we are told that basically all dilithium went boom. See, the went boom part is what I used to say in an kind of an intentionally lame joke. They use it seriously. Another great line is you have a very large cat, or Book says that he's space broke, because this is an old cartoon apparently. Brilliant dialogue, Oscar worthy. So they decide to go to swap her antiques in the marketplace. They get inside, but Book double crosses her and she gets arrested and questioned. And we see the quote-unquote funny scene. The keepers, who are an Orion and an Andorian, drug her, so we have the pleasure to watch her overact even more. Please don't do that. I know they were listening to our complaints and try to humanize her a bit, but this is way too much. She tells them the truth, they bring her to Book, and we get an action scene. An action scene which looks like it was taken from Power Rangers. They have even shooting glove things. They also have now personal transporters because Kurtzman likes these things. Finally they escape and we see Michael is injured, so Book does some weird thing. He starts to glow and he makes a plant appear from water, plant which cures her. Wow, I didn't know black people can do that. So what is he? An alien or some new improved human or what? We don't know yet. He heals Michael and we find out that he's an asshole again. Not only did he betray her previously, now he tells her that he has equipment which allows her to talk to the Discovery all along. But of course, the Discovery does not respond. So they return to Book's ship and get ambushed again. The orc gets killed, and we find out that they want Book's cargo. And his cargo was a transworm. What is a transworm? A cross between an elephant penis and the Loch Ness monster. Book tells Michael to close her eyes, implying that that is somehow important. She closes her eyes, and guess what? In the next shot and during the whole scene, she has them opened and nobody mentions the eye thing again. So why is that in? Was this scene changed in the rumored reshoots? The transworm kills a few of the criminals, the rest of them transport away, and the worm eats Michael. I don't know why, but seeing Michael being eaten by a giant CGI penis made me laugh probably more than I should. Well, of course, after Book's intervention, the worm spits Michael out because she didn't eat her, only kept her in her mouth thingy. Why? The worm lady ate everybody else. Why did she take Michael only in the mouth? Why didn't she swallow? Come on, ladies. When you get something warm inside of you, you should swallow it. Anyway, this was the best scene of the episode, which is kind of sad. And then, of course, Book brings the worm to a place where she can mate with other worms, because it's mating season. So this episode was all about bringing a giant worm together with other giant worms so that they could bang. This is Star Trek, everybody. But we need to connect the Indian guy to the story somehow. You see, the Federation was destroyed after an incident nicknamed The Burn, the incident where the dilithium went boom, and he and his office/ship is one of the very few things which survived. Of course, he has sensors, so they search for Discovery, but the ship's not anywhere in the sector, meaning they didn't come out of the anomaly here, or yet. The anomaly she destroyed. Good work. And then the guy turns into a typical Star Trek Discovery fan and starts to tell Michael, a woman who he knows for something like 3 minutes, that she's the bestest thing ever, and the episode ends. Sorry I went so quickly through the story, but I had so many things to say about the teaser, and I missed a few points. For example, why did she start to talk to herself? Since when is she the science officer of the Discovery? Did I miss something? Because I think she was just a specialist, right? Anyway, maybe I will revisit these episodes one day, and if I find the time, and I will go to detail about what I think is wrong, but until then, on my standard scale from 0 to 10, where 0 is complete garbage, 10 is a masterpiece, and 5 is just average, I would give this episode, let's say, 4 out of 10. A lot of the scenes entertain me, but for the wrong reasons. But as always, these were just my opinions. Let me know, what did you think about this episode? Did you love it, hate it, or did you think it was just okay? Let me know down in the comment section, and see you very soon with my review of episodes 2 and 3. Thanks a lot for watching, and bye.